Hello. Well, I'm now ready to start my first YouTube video. Now, there was going to be a really awesome, very educated video, but unfortunately, it needed too much editing. So I can't start it with that video. Now, I will do that real awesome one in the near future, but it just can't start now. So I thought of a really good introduction of my YouTube channel. Now I want to let you know first, I only have 15 minutes of video to send to the YouTube channel. So when I get to 15 minutes, I'm going to have to stop and start up again. But part 2. So now let me start my video. So now I'm going to be discussing 2 types of religious leaders. Number 1, I'm going to be discussing my current reverend at my Church of Hope. And second, I'm going to be discussing the Jehovah's Witness religious leaders. So now let me start with my current reverend, the church that I currently go to, the Community Church of Hope. So, more than 41 years ago, Reverend Patrick wanted to become a religious leader. Now, he didn't know where to go, what to do, where to start. So he spoke to one of his friends, telling him that he wanted to become a religious leader. So, of course, his friend looked at him and said, if you want to become a religious leader, you need to go to school. Simple as that. So, of course, he immediately contacted one of the seminary schools, which is called religious schools, told him he was his plans, his ideas on becoming a religious leader, and they, of course, looked at him and said, absolutely, this is what you have to do, this is how long it's going to take, and we go from there. So Reverend Patrick followed their lead. He went to seminary school. He spent more than 3 years of religious school to become a priest, pastor, reverend, or elder. You know, those 4 titles are all pretty much the same. Now, more than 41 years, Patrick is still there. Great as ever. He knows that Bible. He's trained. He's certified. He's everything. Now, let's go to the Jehovah's Witness elders, priest, pastor, reverends. Now, if you want to decide and you want to become a Jehovah's Witness elder, let's use my example of my cousin Michael Pebble. Because he's right now, and been there for many years now, a Jehovah's Witness elder in my old congregation. Now, what do you think Michael had to do to become a Jehovah's Witness elder? Did he have to go to school? When he spoke to the elders when he wanted to become an elder, did they say, oh, okay, Brother Pebble, you need to go to seminary school? No, he didn't do anything. Let me tell you this, and this is a true story also. You literally, I guarantee there's a lot of them around the world who are Jehovah's Witness elders, which are like Jehovah's Witness priests, pastors, or reverends, who actually don't even have a high school diploma. Now you might ask, well, what do you have to do to become a Jehovah's Witness elder? If you don't have to go to school like Reverend Patrick did, what do you have to do? You got to go through training, don't you? You don't. Let me tell you what you have to do to become a Jehovah's Witness elder like my cousin Michael. Now, my cousin Michael, who of course completely shuns me, he's a bitter person. Doesn't like me at all. So, in order to become an elder, first of all, you have to be appointed as a ministerial servant. That's like a pre-elder. So in order to become a ministerial servant, you pretty much have to, I know this might sound harsh, you have to be a really good ass kisser. I'm not joking. If you're a Jehovah's Witness or you're an ex-Jehovah's Witness, you're shaking your head and you're saying, yeah, Victor's right. You really have to be a really good ass kisser to become a ministerial servant. Now, what do you have to do to become an ass kisser? You have to be able to go to all meetings. You can't miss it at all unless you are literally at your deathbed. If you have a cold, you have a little bit of a flu, no, you can't just say, oh, I missed a meeting because I have a cold. Oh, I missed a meeting because I have a flu. Oh, because I'm sneezing, or I farted, or I'm coughing, I can't miss the meeting. No, 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 that looks bad in your name as a Jehovah's Witness. So first of all, like I said, you have to be at all the meetings. Second of all, they encourage you to look better as a Jehovah's Witness and be a pioneer. Going in service, spending hours after hours in field service. Find Bible studies from going door to door or doing their cart witnessing. Also, one big thing, you have to regularly commenting at the meetings. That means their watchtower study. You need to regularly, when they're doing their question and answer, raise your hand regularly. Yes, Brother Pebble. Well, in paragraph 3, it's talking about blah, 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 blah. And then a little while later, yes, Brother Pebble. Well, in paragraph 6, we have a discussion about blah, 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 blah. Then, of course, maybe you want to go to Bethel and say you take a tour. Oh, and of course, most importantly, if you're a pioneer, to look good as a Jehovah's Witness, go to pioneer school. Yeah, that looks really good in your name as a Jehovah's Witness. So after you go to the meetings regularly, rarely ever miss the meetings, commenting regularly at their meetings, be a pioneer, which it is optional, but it will look better if you want to be real spiritual as a Jehovah's Witness and become a ministerial servant. When the time comes and the elders need spiritual help and they need ministerial servants, that's what you do. Now, my cousin Michael literally doesn't even need a high school diploma to become a ministerial servant. So now, Michael became a ministerial servant many years ago, doing really well now. Basically, ministerial servant, which I might have said it already, I'm going to say it again, and ministerial servant is like basically right before you become an elder. So now, years go by, and of course, now they need more spiritual help, and now they need an elder, or elders with the apostrophe S. So now the elders have an elders meeting, and they discuss what they should do. And one of the brothers said, what about Brother Pebble, my cousin? So I thought about it, they prayed about it, and they said, you know what? I think Brother Pebble will do a fine elder. Yeah, let's do it. Let's ask him, see if he would like to be appointed as an elder. So maybe later that day, maybe the next meeting, they approach Brother Pebble, Michael. They told him the great news, asked him if you'd like to be appointed as an elder. Michael, of course, shook his head and said, absolutely. Now, when he agreed, do you think any of the elders told, okay, well, Brother Pebble, since now you want to become an elder, now you need to go to seminary school? No, he didn't, and you don't have to. Even Michael didn't even finish high school. Only had 11th grade high school. So he got appointed. He went to no spiritual school at all. Now let's go to Patrick, Reverend Patrick, who actually went to school, went to seminary school, spent years in years to become a pastor, priest, reverend, elder. No, of course, my cousin Michael. He's in the same category as Reverend Patrick. But Michael didn't even finish high school when he was appointed as an elder. So now, let me do a twist in this story. So say at the same time, Michael's now an elder as a Jehovah's Witness, and Reverend Patrick is an elder at the Community Church of Hope. And at the same time, there's someone in their congregation who did something wrong spiritually. So now Reverend Patrick went to that person privately and spoke about what he did wrong. And we'll say that person who did that wrong was doing open prayers at the Community Church of Hope. So Reverend Patrick spoke to that person. He confronted him, and he helped him, and he unfortunately had to discipline him and told him that he can no longer do public prayers until this gets all corrected. Now the person who gets disciplined gets mad and says, "You can't do that. That's not fair. I love doing public prayers." And Reverend Patrick said, "You know what? I can and I will. You know what? I spent over 4 years a seminary school. I'm trained, I'm certified, and I have the authority to do that." Now let's go to Brother Pebble. At the same time, there was a Jehovah's Witness who got in trouble. He got caught smoking a cigarette. So Brother Pebble pulled him aside one day at the meeting, confronted him, asked him if he smoked a cigarette. He said yes. And Brother Pebble, who's an elder, says, "Okay, unfortunately, I'm going to have to disciplinary you. You can no longer do opening or closing prayers, and you can't commenting at the meetings anymore. You really can't do anything other than going in field service and going to the meetings." Now this Jehovah's Witness gets mad and says, "What? You can't do that. You don't have the authority to do that." Now Michael tries to shakes his head and says, "Yes, I can." But now this Jehovah's Witness who gets disciplined says, "No, you can't. What seminary school did you go to? What religious school did you go to?" And Michael kind of looks back and says, "Well, actually, Brother so-and-so, you're right. I didn't go to any seminary school. Actually, I didn't even finish high school." So that Jehovah's Witness looks at him and says, "Then you can't disciplinary at me. You can't tell me what I can and cannot do because you're not even certified or trained to do what you're doing." Now, before I let this video go, and I only have 2 more minutes, think about Patrick, Reverend Patrick, and think about my cousin Michael. Patrick had every authority to discipline that person because he's trained. He's certified. He went to seminary school. But Brother Pebble, just like so many other Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't even finish their high school, let alone go to seminary school. So think about that now. And if you're a Jehovah's Witness, think about that. If you did something spiritual wrong, going against the Watchtower's organization's teachings, and an elder pulls you aside, and you know firsthand that this elder who's about to disciplinary you doesn't even have a high school diploma, don't be afraid of those elders. You can confront them. You could tell them, "Excuse me, you're not trained, certified, let alone even finished high school." Think about it. This is the life as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't think about going to school. They're not even allowed to go to college, let alone do anything else. So here comes my 15 minutes. So I really hope you enjoyed my video. If you liked it, please share, put the like button, and subscribe my new channel. I promise you there's going to be so much more videos about the Watchtower organization. So I hope you enjoyed it, and have a good day. Talk to you later.